Hello, welcome to the Food Lovers Dietitian podcast. And today it's a podcast about the post, How to Eat Out with the Food Lovers Dietitian. And it's very fitting that we've taken it outside for eating out today. So I'm often asked, how does eating out fit with the Food Lovers Dietitian meal planner? And so I've decided to show you by taking the post that I did last week on menu inspiration number 1 and showing you what it might look like if you were eating out for any of those different meals and snacks. Now, I can tell you that the Food Lovers Dietitian meal planner fits perfectly with eating out. And in fact, the secret to success is that you have not long to look forward to the next meal or snack that you know is going to be delicious. So no longer do you need to deprive yourself or miss meals if you're eating out to compensate. You just eat the normal meals and snacks that you would if you were eating at home using the Food Lovers Dietitian meal planning tool, and enjoy eating out and savor those occasions. But first of all, we should go back and we should just have a look at those eating out tips that I posted on earlier and just remind ourselves of the things that we should keep in mind if we're eating out and want to have a healthy weight, especially if we're eating out quite often, which you can do with the Food Lovers Dietitian approach. So it's important to remember these things. It's always great to share. When you eat out, meals are often much bigger than what you would have at home and much richer. So wherever you can, sharing meals works really well. It particularly works well at breakfast. Cafe breakfasts are perfect for sharing, and I've linked to a whole post that I've done on that to show you how that works. So that's a great tip. But also choosing cuisines where you can share dishes by putting them in the middle is terrific too, because then everybody can take the amount that suits them. And also aiming for small tastes of lots of different things, eating slowly and mindfully. I've linked to a 5-minute little podcast called The Mindful Bite, which introduces the idea of eating mindfully and shows you really how to do that well. So that's well worth a listen if you haven't listened to that already. Don't go out hungry, because if you go out hungry, it does get very difficult to choose small amounts and to eat slowly. Have your normal meal or snack before you go out that you would normally have if you weren't going out, or if you might even need an extra snack. You might need something like an apple or a little tub of low sugar, low fat yogurt that is highly portable, so you can just kind of have that easily. Or it might be one of your normal snacks that you have used the Food Lovers Dietitian meal planner to plan. So let's kick off. So for breakfast, I've chosen an avocado toast with some poached eggs, and I've shown you how cafe breakfasts beautifully share between two. Sometimes you might need to order an extra egg or an extra slice of toast to make it easy to share, but often even the toast is quite thick anyway, and half a piece of toast is like a slice of normal bread. Then for morning tea, I've actually shown you how a macaron can work really well if you're, say, at a bakery. Bakeries, often the choices are really large, and often they're not that calorie worthy, by which I mean there's a lot of calories and they're really not that great. So if you've got no one else to share with, and there's nothing that you particularly would like, a macaron is fantastic, because although it's small, it's totally delicious, and the kilojoules in a macaron are just about what you would get in a slice of bread. So it's not outrageous, and having that with a cup of tea gives you just that little bit of deliciousness that you're looking for. Of course, if you do have something there that is definitely calorie worthy, and especially if you've got people to share, or if you're going to take some away with you, then do get that. Lunch, I've chosen an open sandwich to post in this post, and open sandwiches are sometimes on the menu, but sometimes you can also just ask for a sandwich to be open rather than a closed sandwich, and just or you can just choose to eat one slice of bread. And the reason for that is because cafe lunches or the bread is often quite thick, and it's like having 2 pieces of bread in one go. Or you can also just eat half the sandwich and take the other half with you, which can work really well. You can either have that later, or if you're not going to have it later, then put it in the freezer and get it out again to have with a bowl of soup for dinner, a really light, easy dinner. That's always fantastic in the toasted sandwich maker, just in the sandwich press, is a delicious meal. Then for afternoon tea, I have chosen something really delicious, and this is a rich chocolate cake, which, because it's so fantastic, you don't need a lot. And so if you're with some other people that are happy to share, then or you're happy to take some with you, then just have a small amount of that, but enjoy it and eat it slowly and savour it. And in fact, this chocolate cake was shared between 4 people who all enjoyed it thoroughly. Then for dinner, I've shown you what it might look like if you were out for dinner having curries, and putting the curries in the middle of the table and taking a little bit of each one to eat slowly and savour and get a taste of all the different dishes. Of course, curries are really quite rich, so you don't need as big a serve as what you would have at home, where you can tweak the coconut oil and tweak the coconut milk, but it's still equally delicious and satisfying. So it's a different way of thinking to serve yourself small amounts, and often it means ordering quite small, so you may not order as many dishes as you might have been used to. So under ordering is another great eating out tip. Order a bit less than what you think. 1 rice between 2 is often enough. 1 dish between 2 or 2 dishes between 3 is often plenty. Then for dessert, again, I've chosen something really delicious, and this was the hazelnut mousse from Mikado in Sydney, which is pretty fantastic. But again, it's small, but half is plenty. And often I find when you're eating out with people, they're well satisfied by the main meal, and really by dessert they're just looking for something sweet and a little bit special, and are quite happy to share. So there's some ideas on how you might share with other people, be it a cafe breakfast, or be it a curry meal, or another Asian meal, or even tapas or share plates that you can put in the middle at lunch or dinner and take a small amount. I've also shown you how for a snack you might order something small like a macaron, or you might order something larger and delicious but share it between 2 or 4 of you. And I've also showed you how you might order a sandwich in a cafe, but either eat half or get an open sandwich, or leave some of the bread, because there is a lot of bread. So I hope that's kind of given you some ideas and some confidence to be able to head out, eat out often and regularly, and know that you don't need to feel guilty or worried about your weight if you're following some of these ideas. And while it takes time to perhaps start to do things differently, with time it just becomes second nature. Everybody starts doing it around you, and that is a fabulous feeling. So if you try some of these things, I'd love to see what you've done on Facebook. Post a photo, show me how you use the Food Lovers Dietitian meal planner and Food Lovers Dietitian eating out tips together, and inspire everybody. And let's share the great news. Do follow Instagram for daily little posts that give you more and more ideas. Sign up for the news so you get the next post, which should be coming out in a week. And I hope to keep in touch, and I hope you've enjoyed this post. I'll see you next time.